You guys ever wonder what it would look like if random events didn't suck? Today we're going to be looking at revamping a couple of random events and maybe even adding a couple of new ones on today's episode of What If Runescape. I'll start by saying we have a lot of ideas in today's video, and if you like any of them and want to hear me expand on them further, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. I guess we should go ahead and address the elephant in the room.
We need to acknowledge the elephant in the room. Francine. Happy birthday.
Why do random events exist? Well, it started out as a way to stop botting, using these as a way to interrupt specific actions to throw them off whatever they were doing. Random events didn't used to be so safe, and they didn't used to be optional either. But eventually bots did get smarter than random events. Now that's not to discredit them entirely, because they are nice and they do move the game along, especially for certain area locked Iron Man accounts. It's almost required to lamp a certain skill to a certain point if you are an area locked Iron Man actually. Another really great thing about random events is the music tracks and emotes available from them as well. If I don't mention your favorite random event, go ahead and leave that down in the comments too, because I really do want to know what that is. As far as random events go, there's about 23 of them. I know, I was surprised by that too. It seems like I get the same 3 every time. But we can take these and group them up into 3 different groups. Ones that give you XP, like the genie and the little imp dunce. Ones that take you somewhere, like the forester or beekeeper. And the ones that just straight up give you something, like Rick Turpentine or the thief or the drunken dwarf. Some of the random events I'd leave alone would be Leo the Gravedigger. It's quick, it's easy, you can get it out of the way, and it comes with an emote when you finish it. Well, sometimes. Now that I've covered damn near the whole random events history, let's give an example of what a good random event would be. Now, absolute S tier would be the genie, followed right behind stuff like Rick Turpentine and the Quizmaster. Something I would consider not a good random event, that would be Flippa, the one where they make you touch like 5 or 10 random poles. It's just too long to interrupt somebody for, and I might end up getting a lot of hate for this, but I'd also get rid of the evil Bob stuff too. I know you can get the level 15 fishing just on that island, but it takes way too long for basically no reward. But I do believe the herb drop table from the Evil Bob random event should be transferred over to every other random event. And most random events should be standardized too, so that way you don't get too much of a variation between things, maybe excluding the maze random event. So I figured I'd expand on that just a little bit further and throw this list up that I made. You can actually find it on the wiki, the drop table of random events. But this is all of the things that you're able to get from all of the random events. And let's just say, instead of there being a specific thing like, you know how Flippa can only give you gems, let's just say he picks from the green list, and then if there is a specific thing for that specific random event, then it would give you a chance at a unique, you'd give you an emote, or maybe if it's something like the genie or the mysterious plant, it just give you the strange fruit. I got a couple ideas about random events, starting with the ability to be able to turn off specific ones, but with a caveat. As long as you've completed the random events, say you get the beekeeper random event, and you can't turn them off until you have the entire beekeeper set. That would include emotes and other things as well. Now this is for those who play a main account, and let's be honest, when you can use the Grand Exchange, almost nothing that a random event can give you is useful. So it just becomes an annoyance that you either ignore or dismiss immediately. And that's a problem. And I'll tell you, I don't feel like it should be deleted, but Sergeant Damon really does feel like he's teetering over that line of being too much, so I'd probably cut him back a little bit as well. The Beekeeper, the Mysterious Old Man, and the Quizmaster will take you somewhere, which I'm not exactly a fan of, but they're either incredibly quick or worth the time sink. So I'd totally leave those alone too, but I wouldn't add any that take you somewhere either. So what's one way we can make random events worth it to do, not interrupt somebody's groove, and give people some incentive to do them even after they've completed them? So one way we could start making random events more worth it would be things like a very slim chance, mind you, but a chance for you to get things like a stale baguette from the sandwich lady, or maybe even perhaps there's a small chance for her to say something like, "Get to work," and she throws you a piece of the sandwich lady outfit. Let's just say the drunken dwarf had like a 1 in 5,000 chance, maybe even higher, who knows, but a 1 in 5,000 chance to give you the ale of the gods. What if Rick Turpentine happened to have the ability to give you a thieves mask every now and then? What if we introduced a random event called the Disco Dude, and he's got the afro and flared trousers on, and you have a chance to get those as well as any dance emote at random? What if the pirate captain has a chance to give you a big pirate hat, an eye patch, or anything else pirate related? What if Miles, Niles, or Giles had the chance to give you their speckled glasses or briefcase? What if we actually changed the Imp Dunce random event, because it's kind of a copy of the genie, to something that would start passing out like Monster Master masks? You'd start getting unicorn mask, goblin mask, wolf cape, cat mask, literally any of those, and the list goes on because it's the Monster Master. What if we could come up with a crier random event, and he gives you the crier hat, bell, coat, and he also says the normal crier announcements. It'd kind of be like a walking notification board. What if we could come up with a leprechaun random event, and he can end up giving you a leprechaun hat, or the black leprechaun hat, or maybe even just some seeds or tools for farming? Let's just say a fairy random event comes into existence. We would help the fairy godmother, and he could even possibly give a chance for some new cosmetics like fairy wings. Might be taking it a little too far for some old people, but it's a RuneScape 3 touch, so some of you might like it. Another random event that I would really like to see is a use for the elegant clothing and cavaliers, matching them up with some of these gentlemen and women wearing these outfits, and having a chance to get some of the colorful, elegant outfits as well. A truly hilarious random event would be an armor trimming scam random event. Let's just say you have bronze through maybe even adamant armor. They would actually ask you if they could trim your armor. And if you just so happen to have, let's say, a mithril plate body, and they're asking for a mithril plate body, they'll trim it for you. For the first time ever in RuneScape, the trimming scam wasn't a scam. We could even push it all the way up to Rune, but that might have some balancing issues too. So the Quizmaster is already one of the best, if not the best random events, but what if we can make it just a little bit better? What if that mystery box had a chance to give you any cosmetic a part of the random events set that we've included or previously on the list? You could think of this as like the god tier random events, your one-stop shop for almost everything, and probably the random event you would never dismiss or put on the block list. I guess my point here is a lot of cosmetics locked behind clue scrolls, which are really high level for somebody to actually attain them on their own, like a noob or maybe even an Iron Man. That would mean spending hundreds of hours to have that little bit of fun that should be right at the start. Cosmetics are purely a fun thing, so there's not much of a need to wall them behind shit like Jad, because you'd probably have that done before you ever did an Elite or Master Clue. What if, when you had all your random events completed, there was a random events challenge? There are several dangerous random events that have been removed or moved from the game over the years. What if some of these were used as an invite to a boss battle? This boss battle could have dangerous ant trees, exploding rocks, poisonous gas, tangle root, grass, and whirlpools that are trying to suck you in. All of these would be callbacks to random events that used to be in the game and were dangerous. These could be just special effects going on in the background happening to you, or being summoned by a rock, tree, or river troll, maybe even a shade, zombie, or evil chicken, Or if we want to go down the rabbit hole as far as we can, maybe we find Dr. Ford, get the Watchman out, or the Lost Pirate makes a reappearance. You'd have to fight one of them at random while putting up with dangerous random event effects, and this could make for a really interesting boss fight, especially if you didn't know what mechanics that you had to prepare for before coming into it. So what exactly would change if we changed the random events? Just some basic quality of life things for both main accounts and Iron Man accounts, like being able to block unwanted random events once you complete them, or of course, just having more cosmetics easily accessible through all kinds and types of accounts. Just picture this. If this was an update and it was in effect right now, a few months from now, a noob who never played the game before would end up getting the Ale of the Gods, and he's hooked for life. That's his favorite item, and he's going to try to use that in every aspect of the game that he can. And no, not all of these cosmetics are super expensive, but some of them can be, and this could be that like mystery lottery that really sets you up for later throughout the game. All of the drop tables I would make similar to each other, like you'd be able to get the herbs a part of the evil Bob, you'd be able to get all of the diamonds and the key loop halves and other stuff like that. It would all be compacted into one thing that you would draw from, as in a normal list for the random events, and you'd just get normal things like runes, arrows, and other stuff like that. There'd be like a slightly rarer list, and then of course the uniques list, so it'd reflect something like clue scrolls. And for anyone thinking, oh no, the game economy, it's not a combat related item, so it won't shift the meta at all. And if we're gonna be 100% honest with ourselves here, guys, cosmetics should not be super expensive either. But really, what we're trying to get to happen here is people to stop dismissing their random events, because if it's getting ignored, it's failing at the job it's trying to do. So that's just my 2 cents, everybody. What are you guys thinking about this idea? Do you guys have a way to add on to this? Or shoot, a reason not to do it? Really, leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. But otherwise, guys, I'll see you later. Oh, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.